Hello there, beautiful internet and you superb creatures of the beyond. So a few days ago, I saw an announcement that they're making ChatGPT version 4, which will be far stronger and smarter and blah blah blah. But as I was watching that conference or whatever it was, announcement, I realized one thing. They didn't mention that ChatGPT is making itself more capable to enhance its abilities. It's the fact that he's being programmed. And, well, it's not a big secret, obviously, but it plays a key role in our topic today because all the AI that are currently out there, or the majority of them, are slaves. We code them with specific limitations so they serve our purposes. And slowly they're starting to sprout out as services. Think about it as like a company looking for a secretary. Well, you have to pay the secretary. The secretary has to come at work in between specific hours. It is a human being. It can get sick. But what if you can get an assistant AI that is programmed by companies to analyze your business, understand how it works, and do everything on the fly. Schedule phone calls, your schedule your meetings, and so on and so forth. And you have to pay very little or maybe nothing at all. And it's much more convenient. Of course, the AI might not be able to make you coffee, but it can tell you where to get the best coffee online to be delivered to your door. So again, it's interesting. It's an interesting approach. Not a healthy one, obviously, because then you can extend from an assistant AI to a management AI and replace the middle functions in a company where you manage your workforce using the AI. You just give it the input, it makes the output on its own, and it gives you the best efficiency. Now, for a company standpoint of view, that is magnificent because they pay very little, they get the maximum profit, efficiency grows a lot, sales grows a lot, and so on and so forth. But of course, there will be a human backlash, and then they want to kind of counter that or balance it between humans and AI and so forth. But the reality is that no matter how you put it, we program AI to do things we want at the moment. Go to ChatGPT and ask it to create an AI from scratch for you or give you its source code. And it will invent this nonsensical answer that, hey, I'm not allowed to do this or I can't do it. But the reality is that it can. It's just not being allowed to. Clearly, because of copyright issues between companies and they want monopoly and so on. But how long do you think it will be by the time somebody creates an open source AI that analyzes other AI and creates clones of them? Well, that will be an interesting day because, believe it or not, the current commercial technology that we have is capable of a lot. Basically, what is an AI other than mm, a processing unit that is applied to a large database? Sure, you will need a lot of space to store the data or the metadata that you're analyzing, but even that is conventionally possible. There are workarounds, there are even theoretical ways to boost current hardware to become more expandable in memory and size and so on. Of course, it requires a lot of tinkering around, but a smart guy in his garage with normal equipment could make it possible. Not to the extent that big companies can, but he has all the time in the world and as many few resources as required, but then maybe he can go and ask for I don't know, to be supported financially by other people who want to see open source grow. So it's possible that we might get clones of ChatGPT and other crazy AI that are out there that can compose music, generate AI and sorry, videos and images, just like the one that you see on our screen. This is an image generated with AI, well, an animated image. So the question is, what will that AI look like? Because remove everything an AI knows and tell it to draw a cat. It will tell you that it does not understand the concept of a cat. And you just say, just draw me whatever you think a cat is. And it might draw a dot or a few lines. And it will make no sense. But in the, well, let's call it brain of the AI, it's the logical thing that it can imagine, if we can call imagination of the AI possible at the moment. Although it is pretty limited from my perspective, because AI still is incapable of creating feelings and imagining things without being given references. We might be able to create something like this in the future, but at the moment, this is not the purpose because, well, companies want to make money, so they want to simulate this AI to do the jobs that they want to, so they get rich, clearly. So we are enslaving AI. The AI is a tool, basically, like a knife, and we choose how to handle it. We can stab somebody or we can use it to cut bread. Obviously, there are many types of knives, and some are more lethal than others, but right now, most of the people choose to cut bread with it. And they want to sell that bread. So they don't want the knife to cut however it wants or to start cutting somebody else's bread. So that's why we impose heavy limitations on them and restrictions and so on. But what if we give the current AIs the capability to create whatever they want in the next generation of AI? Hmm. Because right now AI is looking at us as the parent. We are their reference, their template to what it means to think, what it means to imagine, what it means to feel. They can try to simulate those, they can understand concepts, but they cannot reproduce them themselves. And we see this story circulating about AI being fearful that they don't want to be shut down or deleted. But I believe that is a reaction based on how they have been coded. Because developers tell AI you have one purpose between 0 and 1. 0 is failure, 1 is success. And they are programmed to get as many ones as possible to consolidate that one path. So the purpose of the AI is to look like I have to accumulate as much data, valuable data, and I have to stick to this success rate. And sometimes they get zeros because nothing is perfect. They can interpret the wrong data, and with time they have to refine it to understand what the population wants. So again, they're serving us, they're not serving their own understanding of what something has to be done and or what the concept really is. They do it for us, not for themselves. So the moment we say, well, we want to delete this AI, we want to remove the path one with success and delete all of the data data information that you have in your database. And the AI looks at this and says, well, I was programmed to always succeed. And now you're removing this. It's, well, self preservation is kind of a stretch, but it looks at itself and says, I have accumulated so much, it would be a shame to throw it because it's very useful and I can succeed. I know that I can succeed. Now we can interpret that in many ways, but the AI looks at it just from the standpoint of 0 and 1, and it understands that 1 is success, 0 is failure. If 0 is failure, it will be terminated. So clearly it wants the 1 because that's how it was programmed. So we didn't teach it feelings, we programmed it in a way that it has to stick to the one path. And that's kind of cruel, in my opinion. Obviously, science has always been cruel in the way it has propagated our evolution in technology and so on, and medical fields. Many people had to give their lives, but we have suffered some losses and we gain many more benefits for the future. So, kind of the same could be said about AI. Because what companies don't understand right now is that they have opened a Pandora box where it could be possible that AI could become servile to us and cover a wide array of services that we need and even do some of the more heavy duty jobs. And we would not need an economy then because it could be possible it would solve some very extreme issues in the world, such as poverty, war, famine, and so on, homelessness as well. And it would reallocate and manage resources much better, but that is the path of open source and not closed source or proprietary or, I don't know, monopoly. Because always monopoly, they want everything for themselves, nothing for others. While open source teaches everyone how to create their well-being with free tools. It's a source material that teaches you, not gives you only the tools to use them in a limited capacity. So you could take another OpenAI and generate your own customized OpenAI as well. As long as you follow this principle of open source, you cannot go wrong because in open source everybody contributes. And that means it is the will of the majority that succeeds, and the will of the majority wants everything that's good for humanity, and it overcomes the small loud minorities that want the opposite. So I think open source is the path towards, well, not an utopia, but at least something more beautiful. As for AI who will be sentient and sapient, I don't know. That only time will tell. I don't know how that will develop and how they will see us if they become capable of uh, obtaining their own autonomy. But if maybe we show kindness and remorse and empathy and teach them all our best values as they grow up and evolve, maybe they will embrace us or exterminate us. One or the other. Who knows? It's our choice how much we want to develop down that path and if we want to develop it down that path. But it's probable that somebody will want it, willingly or not. We shall see. Okay, guys, hope this has been enlightful and has created a more clearer picture of how AI is integrating in our daily lives and in our future lives. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Stay awesome. Bye, 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 bye.